King Arthur got bored with life at court, he liked to go off by himself, riding out in plain armor on a plain horse and a blank shield, just another anonymous knight errant seeking adventure. And this particular day, he left early in the morning, hoping that he wouldn't see anybody, but Lady Runyow was already out in the garden. She waved at him. She didn't curtsy. And Arthur wasn't sure whether she was just being respectful of his desire for anonymity, or if she was being discourteous. Arthur didn't like Dame Runyow. Nobody did. They called her damsel. And the poets tell us this was because she was hideously ugly. I don't think so. My idea is that she was a strong-minded, strong-willed, independent woman. And the men just didn't know how to deal with her. And the rest of it is just 1,000 years of poetic exaggeration. But anyway, back to Arthur. As he rode that morning, someplace along the way, he strayed over the line between reality and fantasy. And that happened a lot when Arthur went adventuring. He found himself riding along the shore of a dark tarn toward a black castle that loomed ominously in the distance. As he drew close, the gates opened and a black armored knight rode out. A huge giant of a man on a huge horse, wielding an enormous war club. Now Arthur knew perfectly well what was happening. When a wandering knight comes to a place that's defended by another knight, and that other knight rides out and challenges his right to pass by, and the two of them settle the matter in a passage at arms. It was practically the national sport of Arthur's Britain. So Arthur pulled up and waited for the challenge. The Black Knight was not playing by the rules. He didn't stop and challenge. He rode right up and smashed Arthur out of the saddle with that big war club before he had time to as much as draw a weapon to defend himself. And Arthur, still playing by the rules, yielded himself and asked for ransom. And so the Black Knight offered him in return for his life. He must return in a year and a day with the answer to a riddle. This is fantasy. And the riddle is this: what is it that all women desire? Well, Arthur's first thought was himself. He was, after all, rich, handsome, king of the realm. What more could a woman ask for? But then he thought, no, he was married. That probably disqualified him.
Thank you.
Well then, how about his nephew, Sir Gawain? He wasn't married. He was rich and handsome, and certainly all the women seemed to find him very attractive. But Arthur didn't have to answer for a year and a day. So he made the sensible decision that any married man would make. He decided to take the question home and ask his wife. And so Arthur turned around and headed home on foot in his underwear. According to the rules, the winner of the contest got to keep the armor and the horse. And so Arthur arrived home in mid-afternoon, sweaty and tired, disgusted and worried. And the last person he needed to meet was Lady Runyow. And there she was, She didn't curse him now either. She said, "Good God, Arthur, what happened to you? You look like something the cat dragged in." Arthur felt like something the cat dragged in, but he didn't like her to say so. "Do that. I have lost a passage at arms, and must come up with the answer to a riddle." I bet I can answer it. No. I will not tell you. First I will bring your riddle to Queen Guinevere. "Oh, very well. But if you don't find the answer, come and see me again." So Arthur took the riddle to Queen Guinevere, and she passed it on to the entire court, and for a whole year, nobody in the kingdom was thinking about anything else but, what is it? They'll all women decide. Not some women. All women. Oh. Everybody had his own idea. Some said, jewel. Some said, pretty clothes. Some said, a rich husband. Some said, a thoughtful lover. And by the time the year and the day was up and Arthur had to go back and meet the Black Knight, why, he must have had hundreds of answers and the nagging suspicion that none of them was right. And so as he was headed out, there was Lady Runyell. He said, "All right," he says, I'll hear your answer to the question." And so she walked up and whispered in his ear. And immediately his heart lifted, because here at last was an answer that sounded like it might be the right one. He rode off in high spirits, leaving Lady Runyell with a promise that if it was the right answer, she could have whatever she wished for.